that one there in Milwaukee, a young brother, 20 years old, Bo Morrison, March 15th, was at a party. The cops came to break up the party. He didn't want to get caught by the cops. He ran down the street and hid in someone's detached porch. And the man said he felt like his life was threatened, and he came and shot the boy in the back and killed him. This here is Rikia Boyd in Chicago, a 22-year-old black woman, who killed our sisters too, innocent, an off-duty detective, not a police officer, shot him in the hand because he responded to a domestic dispute, and the bullet went off his hand or off the cell phone and killed this black woman in Chicago, March 20th. 22 years old, innocent.
He said, oh man, I thought you had a weapon. I thought your phone was a weapon. I said, my phone was a weapon. My mom's phone, why did you shoot me?
Shot by an off-duty Chicago cop, a man is hurt, his friend killed.
Because there's only preliminary investigation at this point.
Ross says he was on the phone, that phone records will back him up, and so will the guy he was talking to.
I was talking to him on the phone when I heard the shots. So 5 shots, called him, no answer.
He was constantly shooting his gun.
And you never had a gun?
You never had a gun whatsoever. They got my phone as evidence.
You were talking on your phone?
I was talking on my phone.
And he said to you, I thought your phone was...
I thought your phone was a weapon. I said, how the you think my phone was a weapon? He said, sit down, shut up, don't say nothing. Here's the pole, I say that right here. I sat right here on the pole by that young lady. I was looking at that young lady. Body, motion. She made one move, made no more moves.
22-year-old Rikia Boyd was shot in the head. She hung on in critical condition, but was pronounced dead today at Mount Sinai Hospital.
Before picture of my sister. This is the apple. All I want is justice.
Rikia's family gathered at the hospital today in a combination of grief and anger, wanting to know how this happened. Police have said they recovered no weapon from the scene.
How could this be justified? This is my sister with me.
This is still going on, people. Every day.
Somebody tell me something.
Trying to protect us.
Family and friends of 18-year-old Irvin Jefferson, who himself was all...
We got a lot of Negroes in our community too, we got to be fair. This is March 22nd in Georgia, Decatur, Georgia. This young brother here in an apartment complex, his daughter was outside and a fight broke out. He just went outside to protect his daughter and his mother, and 2 security guards in the apartment complex, not police, who were black. One shot him and the other one ran him over. 18 years old. They're just trying to please their master.
The father of a baby girl. Say Irvin was trying to protect his family late Saturday night. He ran outside their home, unarmed, they say, toward a crowd of people who had driven up, threatening his sister.
We heard gunshots. I seen the dude in the green shirt shoot my son. I seen the guy, he had 2 hands, and he shot my son.
Irvin's mother, Candy Grimes, who did not want to go on camera, says as soon as her son was shot, someone else drove a car into him.
By the time I got down there, the car was on top of my son. He was literally under the car.
DeKalb County Police are saying that 2 men killed Irvin Jefferson, 2 security guards from the apartment complex just down the street, who left the complex to investigate the disturbance outside Irvin's home, which Candy Grimes says is what her son was doing when the 2 men killed him.
One of them shot him, and one of them ran over him. It's 2 of y'all. He's little. He's little. Why y'all just didn't beat him up, jump on him? Why you just didn't fight him? Why you had to shoot him? I just want justice. That's all I want. I just want justice. He was trying to protect us.
I think this is the last one. This is in California just last week, a week and a half ago. A Mexican man supposedly was robbed, and this young brother who was in college supposedly took his book bag. When he called 911, he lied and said that he had a gun, which he didn't. So the cops roll up on him, no sirens, no nothing, and shoot him and kill him. So we're just giving you a pattern of what's going on present day and a history of how we're being literally slaughtered in the streets.
Remember, no siren, no lights, no camera. Camera goes on automatically when the lights and the siren go on. And they approach with no siren, no lights.
A lie cost a young man his life. A man called police in Pasadena, California, to say he had been burglarized by 2 armed robbers. They took his backpack, all right, but then they weren't armed. Minutes later, when police confronted them, they were ready for the worst. Here's Miguel Marquez with the story.
Police say when they responded to the burglary, they were on full alert. The alleged victim, Oscar Carrillo, who called 911, told the dispatcher 2 men who stole his backpack and computer were carrying guns.
Did they have any weapons?
Yeah, they have a gun.
Minutes later,
Do you remember anything about the gun?
Both would have a gun, man. They brought the gun and run away from me.
2 officers, only a few years each on the Pasadena police force, responded. No lights, no sirens. Police cars in Pasadena are configured to automatically record events when lights and sirens go on. It appears there is no recorded version of what transpired. Police say 19-year-old Kendrick McDade ran away from the police car, his hand on his waist. For a block and a half, the police car chased McDade until Officer Matthew Griffin caught up with him. They were just feet apart, police say. Kendrick McDade then turned toward the officer still in his patrol car. With seconds to react, the officer from the driver's seat fired.
So the young brother, is he still here that asked about the stand your ground rule?
Yes, sir.
Right here, this young man here just happened. They got the stand your ground rule in Florida. Now, we don't advocate any criminal activity. He robbed another man's stereo equipment out of his car. This young man here, the man caught him, chased him down the street on video, stabbed him to death, and the man got off because of the stand your ground rule. How is that relevant to you? They got the same law right here in Florida. Right here in North Carolina. The same rule. So y'all get caught up, young people, in some criminal activity, you better watch yourself, because the law is not designed for you. You gotta know your laws and know what's going on. So we don't advocate any violence or any criminal activity, but that's overkill. To chase this boy down the street, let the law take care of it. Stab this boy to death on video right there in Sanford, Florida. This is right before Trayvon Martin, and the judges said.
Hold on for a second. All right, the other thing y'all need to know about this case, which makes it so crazy, because it was a Caucasian judge, and this ruling came in after the Trayvon Martin case. So what they're doing now is they're establishing case law. After the man who he robbed chased him for over a block, and it's on video, and I'm sure it'll come out soon. Stabbed him in his back until he died. He had a bag with 4 radios in it that he had, because he was doing work. He was on a little spree. He had 4 radios in his bag. The dude stabbed him to death, took his radio and the other 3 radios back, sold 2 of the stolen radios, and hid the knife. Since it was on surveillance tape, the police knew who to go get, so they went to go question him. He initially lied to them and said that, no, I did not commit this crime. All right? They arrested him. He went to trial, and the judge, in light of all of that evidence, he stabbed the dude to death after he chased him, recovered his radio and 3 other stolen radios, sold 2 of them, hid the knife, lied to the police. The judge still let him off on stand your ground.
We're just letting you know what's going on, because it's relevant to you in this country, especially with our young people. We're going to do something in a couple minutes to let you know about the psychology of the police department, where it comes from, and give you some tools to try to protect you from this. Y'all all right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Is this too scary for you?
No.
Are you mad at me because I'm showing you this stuff?
No, sir. This is real.
Right here in North Carolina, the devil is coming to your door. These 2 people in their driveway in Hope County, North Carolina, on March 24th, they come home and a white man next door, which is their neighbor, was shooting guns in the air. All they did was ask him to stop shooting.
Little kids.
Yep. And asked them to stop shooting. She goes in the house. The white man shoots him dead in front of his children. The children go get mom, and then he shoots her dead. March 24th, right here in North Carolina. I hope y'all are waking up, because they're trying to provoke you into a race war. They're literally lynching us in the streets. So what are we supposed to do? And there's the demon that did it. You can keep on going. No reason at all. March 24th in Hope County, North Carolina. Not far from here. That's what's going on. This is not isolated.
From Shree. Why haven't we heard about this? It was on the news. It was on the news. It was on the news.
Real,
It was on the news.
real quick. But in the beginning,
real quick, brother.
In the beginning, I was saying about how the media trains our mind and trying to make us think that it's just isolated. Even got us thinking, and I'm going to show you a term to connect that, even got us thinking that this is not a race issue. I seen black people marching saying this ain't a race issue, this is a human rights issue. But it's only happening to us. If it was happening to other people, then it would be a human rights issue. And hold y'all questions, I want to get through. This is Kenneth Chamberlain in New York, 68-year-old veteran, accidentally hit his medical alert. The police come and kill him in his own apartment. This just happened last November. A 68-year-old veteran. So I guess he was looking suspicious in his own apartment.
As they were kicking in his door, his medical alert recorded the encounter. You could hear him calling them racial slurs before they shot him.
We already talked about this brother here. We know what they did to this brother. We believe it's unjust what they did to him, going off of the evidence. So this isn't isolated at all. This is why we're showing you. I know it's rough, but we're not making this stuff up. We're showing you a pattern of behavior of how we're treated in the criminal and justice system. I went to school for criminal justice, but I want to help free my people, not to perpetuate the problem. Jermaine Carter in Mississippi last year hung in a strange neighborhood that he'd never been to before. Just found him there hung. And don't that look familiar? 100 years of lynching by a white man wrote this book. It's called Without Sanctuary. How they used to make postcards of when they was going to lynch you.
That's right.
This just happened last year. Look what they're doing to us. Am I making this up? Are you mad at me? Stop it. Stop it. Can y'all see that all right?
Yeah.
Does black people have this illness? I told you what the black people have been saying, and everyone has their own opinion. Oh, it's not a race issue. It's not really that bad. But I didn't make this up. I want you to read this definition and tell me if we're suffering from this definition. It's called Stockholm Syndrome. And I study psychology too. It's an apparently paradoxical psychological phenomenon. Pay real close attention, which hostages express empathy and have positive feelings toward their captors. Who brought African people here?
White.
Huh?
Anglo-Saxon.
Okay. Express empathy for their captors. Sometimes to the point of defending them. These are feelings generally considered irrational in light of the danger or risk endured by the victims, who essentially mistake a lack of abuse from their captors as an act of kindness. Going to the second line, Stockholm Syndrome can be seen as a form of traumatic bonding, which does not necessarily require a hostage scenario, but which describes strong emotional ties that develop between two persons where one person intermittently harasses, beats, threatens, abuses,